Um, all right. So Tenet. Um, what the fuck? So after months of movie theater closures, at least here in the U.S., they are starting to reopen across the country, and I think most of them are starting to be open. And even though I would love to say it's because of the New Mutants, I think we all know it's mainly because of Christopher Nolan's delayed summer blockbuster Tenet. So, Tenet follows John David Washington as the protagonist. That's literally what he's referred to as, through a time international espionage mission to save the world. Sounds simple, yeah. I basically just read the synopsis from Letterboxd and just kind of condensed that even further. Because this movie is pretty crazy. So I saw it last night in the theater. Wow, cinema. I haven't been in a movie theater since March, and so that was amazing. But yeah, Tenet is a lot. It is without a doubt the most Nolan movie, if that makes sense. For better and for worse. It has the best parts about Nolan movies, and then it has the worst parts about Nolan movies. Now, me personally, I really like Christopher Nolan movies. I think I haven't really disliked any per se, and I love some. So that's the scale. I wouldn't bow down and take a bullet for him like some other people would, but I really enjoy his movies. So let's start with the negatives of Tenet. As I'm sure you've all heard by multiple reviews now, a lot of people had trouble hearing some of the dialogue over the movie, and they're like, maybe it's the theater, maybe that's just the reason. And no, I can confirm it is definitely the movie. The sound mixing in this is it's not good. Not too good. Now that's something that's been an issue in Christopher Nolan movies before. Specifically, I think of The Dark Knight Rises just off the top of my head. And typically, that wouldn't bother me too much if I'm being completely honest. But in this movie, where there are so many scenes where they're talking and it's presumably something really important that you should listen to understand the movie, when the score, which is great by the way, when the score is kind of blasting over it, and then you can barely hear what they're saying, and then it just kind of continues on at such a fast pace, it gets a lot. In a movie like this where you can't really understand some of the dialogue, I mean, that's just a recipe for confusion, and I think you're seeing some of that in some of the reviews and the reception for the movie. Now, speaking of dialogue, there's a lot of exposition in this movie. Now, personally, for me, that doesn't really bother me. In a world like this, in Tenet, where everything's going backwards, you need to buy into that world. I don't think you can just be thrust into and expected to buy it. Christopher Nolan has ways to make you really buy into it. And you see that in Inception, where they're taking a lot of strolls, very nice scenery, and they're just kind of explaining away. And yeah, that's in this movie a lot. Looks beautiful though. Good weather. Now, I'm going to say it. All right. I'm going to say it. I'm not afraid to be called stupid, whatever. This is a confusing movie. All right. This is his most complicated movie. This makes Inception look like a walk in the park. Okay. I have watched 2 explained videos by Tenet, and yeah, I guess it starts to make a little more sense, but even still, it's very complicated. There's the inversion, there's international travel, there's heist, there's more inversion. You can't really hear the dialogue. I mean, that's just a recipe for confusion, especially with my tiny brain. And yeah, while I understand a little bit more from those explained videos, I mean, should I need explained videos to fully grasp the movie? I mean, like, does that make it good? Now, let me say, with any movie I watch, whether with a rewatch or just time passes on, and I just kind of more think about the movie, my opinion can change for better or for worse. I've had plenty of movies where I thought they were, like here, and then I thought about it or rewatch it and they go up to here, or vice versa. So, and if that happens, I'll pin it down in the comments below so you guys know my updated opinion. And yeah, this doesn't have like an emotional connection like some of his movies do. Particularly, I think of Inception, I guess, with Cobb, and Interstellar with that whole scene. Love Interstellar. But I mean, to me, that doesn't really bother me. Especially something like this. He's been very clear to say he wants this to be a spy espionage movie, and it's kind of what you're looking for. I mean, and it gets the job done in that aspect. But for some people who really want an emotional connection to the characters to really care, not sure you're going to find it here. All right, now the positives. So one, kind of to do with the movie, I think Nolan really has to be respected for this. With all due respect to John David Washington and Robert Pattinson, who's kind of riding a hot streak now with the Batman, Christopher Nolan is the biggest draw to this movie. And not many directors can say that. I mean, he makes wholly original movies for mainstream audiences almost every time since The Batman. And I think that is a good story, and I'm rooting for its success, not only for theaters, but for the movie itself and for Christopher Nolan, Warner Brothers, whatever. So along with that, Tenet is completely original. I can really say that I've never seen a movie like this before. Maybe it's because my filmography is reduced to a 22-year-old kid, student, whatever. It's his most daring movie by far to me, even more than Interstellar was. He really takes a big bite out of cinema, really. And some people say he bit off more than he could chew, but it's there. It's ambitious. Another thing is, it's just so visually appealing to look at. I mean, my God. I mean, the cinematography, but also I found myself, my eyes just wandering all over the screen because I was so like taken aback by what I was seeing. I mean, this is really like excellent filmmaking, and you know, that counts. The inversion fight scenes you saw in the trailer are just as cool as you think. I really loved it. Those are probably some of my favorite parts of the movie. I could watch a whole movie with just them fighting backwards and one guy fighting forwards. It's crazy. Maybe that's the dude in me coming out, but I fucking loved it. So yeah, it's a very confusing, ambitious, daring, wild, complicated movie by Christopher Nolan. If that sounds appealing to you, you're going to love it. So like I said, I saw it last night. My opinion can change. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my brain around it, and I've been thinking about it a lot. But I would still personally recommend it, and I've been going back and forth on like a B or a B plus, but I think for right now I'm gonna give it a B. I will say this, I mean, it makes me want to watch it again. I don't know if I will, because you know, I still have to be careful about COVID, going to a theater and everything, but it makes me want to watch it again, and that's more than I can say about most movies. So if you feel safe going into your local theater, you know, and they're making good safety accommodations, I say go for it if you're comfortable. Obviously, I felt comfortable going to the theater, and I had a good time. I enjoyed it. I don't know where it's gonna sit in my Nolan filmography ranking, but yeah, it is a crazy, complicated, daring movie that I still wholly recommend. Maybe I'm stupid, you know. Maybe I'll watch it again and be like, oh, duh. And I bet for Christopher Nolan, who obviously so understands the movie, I bet he's so pissed off at people like me who are kind of confused. He's like, bruh, it's so easy. Yeah, it's probably easy for him, but not too easy for me. But regardless, I still recommended it. I enjoy it. I recommend you guys watch it too. Who knows? Maybe this will end up being one of my favorites if I watch it again. I don't know. So if you saw it, let me know if you think I'm stupid for being confused or if you agree the same. Stay tuned later this week. I'll have Mulan, and I'm thinking of ending things coming out. But besides that, I guess stay safe and bye.